YouTube? It is Toy Adventures here again with another figure review. And today we're taking a look at the brand new G.I. Joe Classified Series Albert Alpine. Albert Pine. Interesting name for his code name, right? So anyway, this is I guess one of the newer entries into the classified line. I wouldn't quite say the newest, but it's definitely been hard to track down. I've been looking at Walmarts for this wave. I've been looking at Targets for this wave. I've been scouring Amazon for this wave, looking on Hasbro Pulse, and it's been quite elusive for the past few months. It's Alpine, and then there's the G.I. Joe version of Storm Shadow. Then you have the Crimson Guard, the Iron Bat or whatever. Or not the Crimson Guard, the Iron Grenadier, and then the Iron Bat. And I've been looking for all of them. But another tip I got from the G.I. Joe Classified Elite group that I'm in on Facebook is that Barnes & Noble actually has at least the first two of the wave, that being Alpine here and the Storm Shadow. And I was able to place a pre-order. I only got Alpine for now. Wasn't really interested in the G.I. Joe version of Storm Shadow yet. Maybe at a later date. But for now, I knew I had to get Alpine. He's another Joe. He's a really cool character. And I'm happy to finally have him. I know he's been quite anticipated for a while by fans. And we finally have our Mountaineer in the flesh. Or I guess plastic, right? So he is 133 in the wave. He's got really cool box art there, kind of a more realistic style going on. I really like that. Going here to the side, you just see his little markings. I've long since stopped going over these because they're kind of pointless. They don't really tie into anything. They just kind of give you a sit rep on what he is all about. And on the back here, you have a nice little render of the figure itself. He's got an Idaho shirt. He's got all his little carabiners lined up on his thigh, and he is obviously a Mountaineer Trooper. So, really cool little figure here. I guess this is something that they put on figures at Barnes & Noble. I don't know what that is. But that's pretty much it for the box. Pretty simple, pretty standard. So, let's go ahead and crack it open and see what he looks like. So, here we have Alpine all out of the packaging with all of his accessories. And you get a pretty fair amount. First of all, at least the most notable for me, is finally we're getting some actual see-through clear goggles. This is something I've been wanting for a while, especially with the Airborne figure, because he has that iconic look with the goggles on, but you can still see his eyes. It's just something that's really a part of his character, and the kind of opaque goggles that he was given in his figure really didn't scratch that itch. So I might actually have to get a second one of these guys just to have this, depending on how it looks on the figure itself. You also get the classic old grappling hook gun that we've gotten since the beginning of the line with the snake eyes. We also got it with the Alley Viper, I believe, and a few others. Just plug this little hole in here, and what you can do is tie a rope to the little hole right here in the hook and to the weapon itself, so you can pretend it's shot out and actually have it be attached to the weapon still. Maybe have the figure hold it. I've done that for a picture or two. It's really cool and a really neat effect. For his weapon, he has this AK-74U type weapon. I've gotten this quite a few times in the line, again with snake eyes and with the Alley Vipers. This has been around for quite a few more sets than the grapple hook gun. You get this actual little grappling hook. I guess this is just a hook because there's no, it is a grapple hook. So, pretty interesting. It actually has a corded up thread right there that I'm not entirely sure I really want to unthread right now. So, but it is actually string that you can theoretically unravel. Oh yeah, see, there's the ravel right there. You just pull it through here and then you'd unravel it. But I'm really not interested in doing... fine, it's the review. Let's do it. Let's see how long it is. Get any good pictures with it. Come on. Come on. Goes for quite a bit. Come on. There. So, Pretty fair length. You can have him hang off of that. I think. I don't know what you tie this to. Unless you tie it to this thing, but this thing already has the hook in it. So what are you supposed to tie this to? Maybe right here on his little belt? That would be kind of my assumption. And that's probably where I will tie it to. So anyway, let's gear him up. He just put his goggles on his face. Real simple. And put his cap on. Very easy. Now, people were saying they didn't like this look. I can kind of get it. It does look a little weird with the goggles on. They almost look too much like swimming goggles on him. I don't know. I'm not sure they really sit all entirely well on his face. You guys can be the judge of it on your own. But I can see where they were coming from about it looking awkward. But it doesn't look horrendous to me. But let's take a look at the buck first, because the legs here are reused from scrap iron, including the feet here too, which ironically enough, I think the boots on this figure actually fit this character more than scrap iron, because these do look like mountaineering boots, pretty heavy duty boots. I can imagine them having some spikes on the end for gripping into rocks better. Then up here seems to be all new because of his jacket. The jacket piece is there. I do notice that it kind of, because it doesn't cut down right here at the bottom of the arm, the jacket sits kind of weird, and I'm not sure if cutting that jacket would help that anyway. It's something I noticed in the promo images as well. It's going to be one of those figures that can't have its arms rest at its side. It's always going to have them a little bit spread out, and that might just be because of his big jacket. Underneath the jacket, like I said, it just says Idaho with a nice little orange and purple picture of the mountains. He's got this rope right here for, of course, climbing up mountains. Here on the back, a pretty interesting little pouch that actually comes undone. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do with it. I'm not a mountaineer. I've never done mountain climbing like that, so I'm not sure what that is for. If someone knows down in the comments what that little back pouch is for, please do let me know. So let's try the articulation out up here. The arms get pretty fair bend, nothing too crazy, but fair enough. And I suspect the elbow on this figure, or the butterfly joint, is going to be non-existent. Pretty much, that is as close as the arms can get to each other without having to bend the figure. So, really, really weak. Do not try and get him in any pistol poses, which, now that I think about it, doesn't even have a holster. I might fix that. I do not like having my characters not have sidearms. It just doesn't feel right. But we'll see. So, articulation is pretty standard on him. Again, really the only new part is the arms, the ab crunch, which is pretty fair. I gotta say, that is really nice. So for looking up while climbing, you do get a pretty fair amount of movement, as well as those bends when he's like up against the mountain like that. Really, really cool. Very nice articulation, and well, it's definitely serviceable for what he'll be up to. So let's give him his weapons. Or let's actually put his gear where they should go. I'm not entirely sure where everything goes. It is a little overwhelming with the slots, because as you can see, you have 4 different ones right here. 2 bigger ones and then 1 smaller one. I'm assuming these go in here like this, maybe. Those just hang off. And then maybe this one goes right here. Come on. Just like that. I mean, it works, right? And then as for this thing, well, he's not given a backpack, so I don't know. That's kind of odd now that I really think about it. Where is his backpack? He wasn't even given one. It almost feels like a huge missing piece to this. Yeah, this might require a gridiron upgrade set just because of, well, where's his backpack? I'm pretty sure the old figure came with a backpack, didn't it? Yeah, the old figures had backpacks. This one doesn't. So that feels like a huge missing part of this set, because I'm pretty sure the rope would attach into the backpack so he could carry that underneath, like it would go from his backpack under his arm, and then he could climb up the mountain that way. Without it there is something really missing from this entire set. So I really don't like having to fork out the cash for Gridiron, even though their products are impeccable. But I'm probably going to have to for this case. This is probably going to be one of those mandatory cases where it's not really an upgrade set, it's more of finish the figure set. So for the next movie, don't be surprised if you see an upgraded Alpine with Gridiron gear. So let's see how well he holds the gear he is issued. That being this little assault rifle. It's an interesting choice. The hands seem to be the really bad Sergeant Stalker hands. Or just Stalker, I guess. I don't know why I call him Sergeant Stalker. But these hands are infamously bad. I think they were reused also for the Action Soldier. These are terrible. I hate these hands. They're so gummy. They don't hold weapons very well. They're not well defined. So any gun pose you do get is a little awkward with them. So for sure, upgrades that are going to happen to this guy is Gridiron and hand replacement, because it is really bad. He can get the poses just fine, as you can see. It's just these hands that they don't, you see that? They don't actually grip anything. They're just too gummy. Like, I had to replace Stalker's hands immediately. But an interesting little tidbit is, since these receive the Stalker hands, that means they also probably receive Veliverse hands as well. So if you have a spare Veliverse figure lying around, those hands will probably work just fine with these as well. Usually any of the hands that can take, like the Dusty arms or the Stalker arms that take these specific hands, can also take the Veliverse hands, and those are way better. You have different expressions, fists, pointing, rifle gripping. So many more options when the hands can actually receive Veliverse hands. I love when that is an option, just because, you know, some of these hands in this wave are questionable at gripping stuff, and some are really good at gripping stuff. It just depends on how defined the fingers are and where they cut them. So that's pretty much all I had to say about this individual Joe right here. I'm gonna have to give it a 7 out of 10. There is clearly things missing here, but what is here is really cool. I can't say it's the Alpine I've been waiting for, just because it is an incomplete package, but I still find myself really enjoying the design and the look of it. So what is here, pardon me, what is here is really good, but it's what's not here that brings the score down so much. So anyway, guys, what do you think of this new Alpine? Are you going to be getting it? What of this wave are you looking forward to the most? For the new G.I. Joe, for the new G.I. Joes that are coming out, announced, and you know, already for pre-order, I would have to say Leatherneck and Footloose are the ones I'm the most excited for, especially Leatherneck. I've been asking for him since I got into this toy line back in, I think, in 2020. So to get him finally is a big W for me. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next review. This is Toy Adventures, signing out. Peace!